Hello, welcome back. So today, as the title suggests, I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up. There is going to be 9 books in this video. However, I did not complete 9 books. I completed 5 books. So I completed 5 books, started 3 books, and I continued on 1 book. Excuse Jack in the background. So this might be kind of a long video. I'm not entirely sure because I've never done a wrap-up before. So I'm just gonna get right into doing this stuff. The first book that I finished in March was Fruits Basket, the Collector's Edition, Volume 1. The reason I say the Collector's Edition is because there's actually 2 volumes in here, but they did a Collector's Edition, so they binded them up. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it, but it was just kind of there. I wasn't thrilled about it. I didn't love it. I'll probably continue on because I was intrigued enough to continue on. But I thought that things were kind of random. They just kept jumping around to certain things. And the cohesion wasn't very good. And the only thing that was cohesive about it was the fact that they're the 12 signs of the zodiac and that she's living with them. But they kept jumping around and it was really weird to me. But that could also be because they're technically supposed to be 2 different volumes in here, so maybe it made sense if they were split into different volumes, but for me it just didn't really make sense. I just kind of meh. So I ended up giving this, like I said, 3 stars. Then the next book that I read was Olivia Twist, and if you watched my reading vlogs, you know how I felt about this. I had a slow start to this book. Probably around the first 70 or so pages, I didn't particularly care for the story. I was just kind of reading. I liked it, but I was just kind of reading, you know, trudging along. But once I got there, the story took off, and I read 100 pages in a day. And then I think I finished it the next day, so it was really good. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I didn't give this 5 stars was because it took me a while to get into it, and there were certain things that kind of annoyed me. There's a part in the end that something happens, and I was mad that it happened, but then it was almost like they used it as a plot point, but never addressed it again. So that kind of irritated me, but that's why I gave it 4 stars. It lost a star because it was a little confusing in the end, and it took me a second to actually start reading it. But overall, I did actually quite like this book, and I'm very happy that I finally read it because it's been on my shelves for a while. Then the next 2 books that I read were completely on audiobook. I did not plan them to be back-to-back audiobooks completed, but that's the way it came out. And it wasn't I was reading one audiobook and then I jumped to the next one and I finished it. I was reading the audiobook and then I was reading another story. I just didn't get to finish that story. So that audiobook is Light Mage. All of the books are in the description below. It's a link to Book Depository. So if you ever are interested in a book, every video has every book that I have in the link. Also, if you notice, I don't know if you would notice, but you might notice that my shelves are a little different. If you didn't see my Bookie Trials things, I reorganized all of my shelves. So they're now based on height and genre and things like that. So just to let you know, I reorganized them. So Light Mage was the next book that I read. Light Mage, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, but there were certain aspects that I thought could have been done differently. So Light Mage is it's a prequel to, it's a prequel to The Black Witch, and I always have such a difficult time trying to explain what The Black Witch is, but it's a really good book and it tackles a lot of serious topics, so I really like that book. But anyway, the Light Mage follows a character that we meet in the very beginning of The Black Witch, but we don't see anything from them after that. She's mentioned quite frequently in the first book and quite frequently in the second book, but other characters from the Light Mage aren't mentioned in the first book, but they are in the second. So there's that. So it follows her story and how she came to be somebody that the mage, like the mage council and everything, are trying to hunt down, even though she's a Gardnerian. So that's what it's about. It was really good, but I thought that the whole novella is basically a romance, but I thought that the romance was super insta-lovey. Like, they literally they'd met each other, they knew each other for like 3 days, and then after that it was like they couldn't be separated from each other. They like freaked out. I was like, that's no. But I still gave it 4 stars because I did quite like it. But I liked the character, so I was okay with it, but I was like, I don't like that and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And that's really all I have to say about it. The next book that I read was For the Bookie Trials, and that was A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This, I ended up giving it 4 stars. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it's the structure of it is very much the exact structure of Beauty and the Beast. There's just a few things that are like tweaked here and there, and closer to the ending of the story it is more, it starts turning a little differently, but it was good. I mean, I liked it. It took me so long to finally get into it. Like, I was pretty much halfway through the book before I was like, yes, I'm into this, and I just kept listening and listening and listening because I couldn't stop. But I don't know what it was. I really liked, like, Harper's the main character. I really liked her, and I really liked Gray. You know what, I think the main thing was just that Ren, I did not really like Ren, and Ren is the prince, so obviously he's the character who they're gonna like make as a relationship, and I don't like him, so that irritated me. But I was originally gonna rate this 3 stars because I didn't really like it, and like the beginning was so slow, and like for me getting into it was like super slow, but the ending, like the last 1/5 of the book, was super action-packed. There were so many things that happened, and it took the twist that I wasn't expecting, or like I guessed it when they mentioned part of it, but it wasn't, like, that element wasn't akin to Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, that increased the star. Like, I thought the ending was really good, so that's why it got 4 stars. If not, it probably would have gotten 3 stars. That's just my opinion. The last book that I finished in the month of March was also For the Bookie Trials. However, I started it during the Bookie Trials and finished it a day later, just because I didn't end up having time to finish it. And that is The Selection by Kiera Cass. So when I explained what this was in my TBR video for the Bookie Trials, I said that it's basically The Bachelor for royalty, and that is exactly what it is. But there's also, it's a dystopian in the sense that there's also like a rebellion going on, and they have to deal with that. And it's also like, so the way that the world is set up, you have it like a number is assigned to you, like you either 1 through 8, well 2 through 8. 1 is all the royalty, 2 are like the soldiers and like the army people, 3 and 4, I think 4 are like the factory workers and like farm people. I think 3 are like the teachers, lawyers, things like that. 5 is like the artists, so anything to do with like painting and drawing and things like that, but also singing, music, things like that, sculptures. 6s are like the maids and like the servants and things. I honestly could not tell you what a 7 is. Maybe they're the agricultural workers? I don't know. I think they might be the agricultural workers. And then 8 is the lowest of the low. 8s are the homeless ones. They're the outcasts. They're the ones who've been cast out, banished, things like that. That plays a huge role in the way that this story is kind of told and the commentary on society that it is. It's just interesting in that sense. So it very much rules their world, and you have to stay within your caste. Like, if you are in that caste, like, it's not like you can say, oh well, I want to be this, so now I'm a different number. It's, you have to either marry into that class or be born into that class. So that's weird. But yeah, so it is more than just it being like a bachelor story, like a romance, but that is the heavy focus of it. So I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. This was the third time of me reading this book. I've read the entire series twice, and I've now read this one 3 times, and this is more of like my guilty pleasure. Like, I just love them, which is so funny because I hate The Bachelor, and it always boggles my mind. I don't understand how I hate The Bachelor, but I love these books. But funny enough, reading this, I kept picking up on so many things that were just like The Bachelor. Even though, like, I know it was The Bachelor, I was picking up on things that I just kept rolling my eyes at because I was like, oh god. But yeah, the only reason really that it lost that half a star is because, and it was originally going to lose a full star, but is because like near like the last, I'm gonna say like 50 pages, maybe not even that, maybe 30 pages, America, who's the main character, makes a certain decision that I always get mad at, and I knew it was in there, but I didn't realize how mad I was gonna get at it, so I got mad at that. And then the very last chapter, like the very last page, she says something and she makes a decision that I was like, okay, they redeemed it for me just slightly. It didn't get all its star back, it got half of it because of that. But I was just annoyed beyond belief. I ended up rating it 4.5 stars because I do love this series a lot, and I will probably always have it like my guilty pleasure. So there's that. So those were all the books that I finished reading, but there were 3 that I started reading that I didn't get to finish. So the first one is The Iron Flower by Laurie Forest. This is the sequel to The Black Witch, which I explained a little what it was about. So basically I had read The Light Mage, and then I continued on to reading Iron Flower. I'm literally 50% through this. It's like a 660 page book, and I'm on page 308. So I'm hoping to finish this within the next couple of days because I do just want to like get it over with. But I am super, like, I'm really enjoying it. So the next book that I started but did not finish is Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. So I got through the first 2 stories of this. I'm on page, what page am I on? I'm on page 117. I'm on the 3rd story, and I've said this in a couple of my vlogs. I'm hesitant to start in the next couple of stories because I don't think that I'm going to be very entertained. Like, I knew what the first 2 stories were about, and I knew which characters it revolved around. The next one I'm not too sure, or the last 2. I think I know what the last one is, but yeah, I'm just a little worried, a little iffy on those. I will eventually read it. I'm hoping to finish it in April. The last book that I started but did not finish in April was Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I like need to finish this. I have an entire vlog that I'm filming of me reading this, and I haven't read this in like 2 weeks, maybe 3. I got to page 100. No, I got to page 97. I'm on chapter 5. And I just have not picked it up again. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up after I read The Iron Flower because we do have Owls this month, so I did kind of want to have to start on that. But I am really excited to read that. And then the last book that I have, which is the one that I continued, was A Court of Wings and Ruin. I have not picked this up since I read those about 100 pages in like one shot. I typically get bored after that thing. I've picked this up a couple of times, and I stop in the exact same spot because I get kind of bored. But I am going to finish this. I've said before, I am reading it because I do love the series and like I want to reread it, but I'm reading it pretty much for the sole purpose of annotating it. Like, I annotated the other 2 books. I'm not going to pull them down because I gave this 5 stars the first time I read it. Probably going to give it 5 stars again just because I absolutely love this series. So that's that. So those are all the books that I read, started, continued, finished in the month of March. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day or night, and I would love to talk to you in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you like what you see and you like my content, please do subscribe. It would be really appreciated. Again, all of the books are linked in my description below. So if you are interested in any of these, they'll be down there. And I think that's it. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye!